Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Mastering the Laws of Attraction. I am your host, Coach Renz, and today we're going to continue talking about the book, The Alchemists by Paulo Coelho. If you haven't gotten this book yet, you need to go get this book. Now, I could do this message and only talk and utilize another book, which is The Richest Man in Babylon. But since we're studying The Alchemist right now, we're going to use that one to talk about finances. That's right. Because if you have not signed up for Financially on Fire, you need to sign up for Financially on Fire today. Procrastination is the enemy to your success. So don't wait. Sign up for it, because if you want to join that 740 plus credit score club in the next 12 months, then you need to sign up for this seminar so that you not only get the procedures, but I'm going to give you some tools. There are certain letters that you need to have, and each letter is for a different aspect of credit. So I need you to be able to get that letter. You're going to have it from me, and it's the way it works, and it's more intense than what you would get online. It's more intense than what you would get from the credit bureau, because they're not in business to make your score go up. They want to keep it down. So I need you to get this letter, and then if that letter doesn't work the first time, then we have a secondary letter that we send. And if that doesn't work, then we have another thing that we do. And if that doesn't work, we have another thing that we do. So these people who tell you they can do it in 30 days, unless your score is already like 700 or 680, you're not going to get the 740 in 30 days. But beyond that, there are other aspects of investing. There's other aspects of making money, of building wealth, of having a river of gold flowing into your household that I want you guys to be able to learn at Financially on Fire. January 5th, that webinar is going to be amazing. I've been doing it for years, so I look forward to seeing you guys there. Now, let's move into it. The Alchemist. We know that Santiago was a sheep herder, and at that time frame, as a sheep herder, he knew how to make money the way he made money. He knew how to build his life the way he knows how to build his life. And that's one of the lessons. You guys know how to make a certain amount of money right now. If you've made $30,000 before, you'll always know how to make $30,000. If you made $100,000, you'll always know how to make $100,000. You can always go back to what it is that you've done before, what you've been successful at. And that's one of the aspects of The Alchemist, is that he knew how to be a sheep herder. But he had been given a vision, a dream to tell him that his treasure was at the pyramids. So he had to stop being a sheep herder so that he can go and follow his personal legend to get to his treasure. If you have a dream, a vision, you have to stop and follow your dream, follow your passion, follow what all the signs that have told you to go get what you deserve, that has been planned for you, that has been promised to you. You have to stop and go get it. Now, here's the thing. Once he did that, once he stopped being a sheep herder, he sold all the sheep and he had a bag full of money. He built a trip from Andalusia to Tangiers, because he knew that the only thing he knew is the pyramids were in Egypt, they were in Africa. He knew that. So once he got to Tangiers, he was told by a young man that, oh yeah, the pyramids are right around the corner. We can get you there in a day. Now, people in that town knew that this young man was a scoundrel, and the old gruff dude was yelling at the both of them in a language he didn't understand, but was yelling at him to let him know that this dude is a scoundrel. He's going to cheat you. He's going to rob you. But because the young man looked good, was handsome, and the older gruff dude looked rough and tumble, he listened to the young guy and lost all his money. Sometimes the messenger don't look like the message. Sometimes you got to look at somebody and say, hey, I can learn from them even though they don't look like they have much to teach me. When I was young, I spent like all my time in the library. I used to live in the library. You know who I learned the most from? It wasn't the librarians. It wasn't the teachers. It was the homeless guys. The homeless guys would seek out the library and spend all day in there because it was shelter for the day. But while they were there, they would read and they would study. They knew all the references and the resources. If I was looking for one thing, they can find me all kinds of literature on it, because this is decades before the internet. So they knew where all the information was. And so the homeless guys in the Marietta Public Library taught me more about how to research and how to find information than any teacher I've ever had in my life. So the homeless guy doesn't look like the right messenger, not dressed the part, look the part, living the part, but he had the information. They had the information for me, and I still do this to this day. There's a particular homeless guy in Atlanta. Every time you see him, and he's very noticeable in his looks, every time you see him, he is carrying 2 suitcases full of books, right? right? Full of books, and he's always reading. So I would learn, I realized I could learn from him. So moving on. So the thing about it is that realize that you can learn. You got to go to the right source and get the information. Now, once he got there, he wanted to go back and be a sheep herder. He lost his money. Understand that your dreams, your passions won't always come easy. You think my dreams have always come easy? No, they haven't. You think my passion, the things that I'm chasing now are coming easy? No, sometimes they're up, sometimes they're down. All his money got stolen, but in the midst of that, he met a crystal shop owner who believed in his religion that he has to take care of strangers, and that if it is written, it is written. Maktub is as he calls it. And so he took care of Santiago. He let Santiago work for him in his crystal shop. And while working for him, he recognized the omen that more customers came in once Santiago's energy became part of the crystal shop. Because Santiago had a mission now. His mission was to get back to his sheep, right? To become a sheep herder again, go back to the successful thing he's done before. But in the process of working for the crystal shop owner, he recognized that he had to chase his dream. He watched that the crystal owner had a dream of visiting Mecca, but refused to go because in his mind, if he visit Mecca and it's not as great in reality as it's been in his mind, then he was going to be so disappointed. So sometimes people don't chase their dreams because they feel like, oh, if I don't chase it, then I won't ever be disappointed. You may be sitting there with bad credit thinking that if I don't build great credit, then I don't have to do the work to maintain it. If I don't desire great credit, then and I can get by in my life right now, then I can continue to deal and do things the way I've been doing them. But he didn't want to change. And when Santiago realized it was going to take him 2 years to make enough money to get back to sheep herding, he saw that there was an opportunity with the crystal shop, that if they sold crystals on the top of the hill and sold tea in the crystal, that they would make more money faster and he can get his money and get back to his life. Sometimes you can take an old thing and change it, do it new, and then it makes more, it's more profitable for you. You cannot be afraid of change. Change is the way things happen in this life. It's guaranteed that life is going to change. So when the crystal shop owner didn't want to go to Mecca and didn't want to build on the hill, he finally did. And when Santiago showed him that he can make more money, he now understood change. Although he still refused to go to Mecca, he at least realized that he can change, he can budge, he can have a greater dream, because one of his dreams was to sell crystal all over and become a huge crystal merchant. So he did finally realize that one after a push. And I'm pushing you guys to come to Financially on Fire. It's online on a Thursday night, January 5th. You have the time. You have to make time. If you got time to do everything else in the world, make time for this. If you got money to spend on everything else in the world, spend your money on this, because I guarantee you in 12 months, you will have the credit score that you've always deserved, and you will be on a pathway for success, for having financial wealth, because your greatness is non-negotiable, and you should sign up today.